Hello guys and welcome to DA channel. Let me show you my favorite toy and modification I made on it over the time. As you can see, this is a little bit modified Crosman 2240, and this CO2 pistol started its life like this. So I think there is no reason to spend too much time talking about 2240 because it is the, I think, most popular CO2 pistol ever. And I will start with my first impression with it. First of all, first thing I noticed was the trigger pull. Trigger pull on the factory gun is too long and too heavy. So I started modifications on a trigger spring and the sear. So first I disassembled the gun and gathered all springs that I had in house, and was very disappointed when I saw that no spring fit on it. Went to bathroom to wash my hands, and when I started pressing on the liquid soap dispenser, I saw the spring in it and took it and try, and it was perfect dimensions and very soft. So I made out of that spring and the little plastic piece inside, I made the guide for the spring, and it was, as I said, perfect, polished. These parts that I marked here with the red circle, polished it, and all contact parts between the trigger and the sear, and the sear and the hammer. So because the sear is made out of a press cut piece of sheet metal, so on the edges are very rough, so it squeaks under your finger when you're pulling the trigger. So it was unacceptable. And afterwards, my next complaint was the handle. The handle is on the factory gun. I kept all my factory parts. Oops. So this is the factory gun. It is too thin and slippery, and it is, as you can see, it is symmetrical. So it allows your hand to, there is no anchoring points for palm of your hand. So you would take the gun at the same grip every time you use it. So it allows, and after every pellet you have to move your hand on the grip and retake it again. So it makes the groups on the target little bit bigger. So I made myself a handle for my hand. As you can see, it is ergonomically made for my hand. So every time I take the pistol, I take it at the same way, and the dimensions are exactly as I need it. And also, because I am shooting from the both hands, I have the anchoring point for my thumb of the left hand. So I heard from some of my friends that this is not the best solution for a grip, but for me it works. As I mentioned, I made it by my requirements. Afterwards I continued to shoot, and the next thing was a hammer spring, because the hammer, when you are shooting, it wobbles inside of this tube. So I made the hammer spring guide with power adjuster. As you can see on the photos, I made it adjustable, but not how can I explain it? Not all the time tweaking with it. I made it so you can adjust it once and forget about it. Don't touch it anymore. So it is made out of an hex screw and the piece of steel that I give my friend to made me on a lathe. Because as I mentioned, I kept all original parts because I was not sure that it would work, so I wanted to, if I screw up something, I could change it back to its previous condition. So, as I said, the spring, I polished all the parts and blew it with the, you can see on this picture, with the Ballisto cold blue. It's not the best thing on the world, but it looks nice. It's not perfect for as a rust protection, but it's okay. And afterwards, I decided I want the red dot sight, because the sights that are on the gun are not perfect. The original sights are, I will find them. As you can see, it's a piece of tin on the piece of plastic with one screw, and this is the front sight, the plastic front sight. So I bought the mount for the barrel and this high mounted red dot, which was not good because it makes a big problem with aiming. I will explain it. When you are using this kind of sight that is very high above the barrel, there is a problem when you are shooting on the let me say at the 10-meter distance, and you are using it for plinking as I do. So you are trying to shoot the bottle cap on a 10 meters. If your sight is perfectly sighted on a 10 meters, it's not problem. But if your bottle cap is either on a 9 meters or on 11 meters, you are going to miss it for sure. So the lower mounted red dot is much better solution, and not to mention it looks much better. So I couldn't find the low mount, and I decided to make myself a low mount out of the Picatinny rail for the rifle. I cut the piece of Picatinny rail for the rifle, as you can see here it is. Cut the piece of Picatinny rail for rifle, drill the hole through it, and chamfer the edges. Put four of these screws that holds it on a place, and polished it. Again, blew it with the Ballisto cold blue, and put this vector SPX 1x22 red dot I bought from AliExpress. I will leave the link in a comment if someone wants it. This one also I bought from AliExpress, and also will leave a link in a comment. So I'm very satisfied with this red dot. It's very nice. It is not intended for firearms. It is, I think, for airsoft and air guns, and because when you adjust it, you feel under your screwdriver that the screws are not very tight. So I am sure that with the recoil of the firearm, this would go loose and change your position of your red dot. So after all, with all these modifications, I am very satisfied. There are just two things that are left to be done on it. One thing, this screw here, I am going to change it because I have a screw which is the black steel hex screw, but I couldn't be bothered to measure how long it has to be to cut it on the right dimension. And one day I'm going to do that also. And after all these modifications, average groups of 5 pellets on a 10 meters are about 10 millimeters. And you can see on this image, I tried to several times, I shot the beer cans or the beer bottles on the 40 to 50 millimeters, no problem. Not just once, but several times. So I hope you liked these videos, and I hope you liked all these modifications that I made on my Crosman 2240. And if you liked it, if you want to see more interesting videos, I planned to do some of my PCP air rifles, some of my rifles and pistols, and all other equipment that I have. I planned to do some videos on about how to, let's say, some tutorials or something like that. So if you liked it, please like, share, subscribe. It would mean a lot to me, and leave a comment below. Thank you. Bye.